Ready.
Okay, so it is now 6:33 PM and I'm going to call this meeting to order. So welcome, everyone. And if you don't have an agenda in front of you, there's some copies available right by the door. So I will now move on to roll call, and I will now ask the principal management analyst to take attendance by roll call.
Thank you, Chair. Commissioner Chadwell. Present. Commissioner Poycon is absent. Commissioner Smith is absent. Commissioner Webb.
Present.
Commissioner McDonald. Vice Chair Sylvester. Here. Chair Nokidu.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Per council policy K-02 on council advisory bodies, I must now propose that the commissioner's absence be defined as excused or unexcused. The commission will then determine by general consensus whether the status of the absence is excused or unexcused per the list of qualified excuses laid out in the council policy. In the absence of general consensus, the commission will take a formal vote. I propose that per the list of qualified excuses defined in council policy K-02, Commissioner Smith's absence, which is for a personal matter that is not among the list of qualified excuses, be defined as unexcused. If the commissioners are in agreement, please raise your hand. Okay, it looks like we're all in agreement. And Commissioner Poycon is not yet here.
Yes. So per the council policy, that absence would be unexcused if he is not present at the meeting.
Okay, so
Thank you.
Commissioner Poycon is not present at the moment. And so the commission again, do I need to read all of that since we already know? No, okay, perfect.
Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so now we'll move to minute approval. The minutes for the January 4th, 2023 regular meeting have been delivered to commission members and posted on the City Hall Bulletin Board. If there are no corrections or additions, a motion is in order to approve these minutes.
I have a correction.
Second.
Oh, she has a
She has
correction.
She has a correction.
It says, in the minutes for the January meeting, it lists my name as excused, but I did attend that meeting. I had to double check. I was like, wait a second, I'm pretty sure I was there, but no, I definitely was.
Oh, actually, yeah, you were there but she wasn't, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's a correction that needs to be made. And also at in the 3.1, I think Commissioner Chadwell's name is misspelled as well.
My apologies.
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Chadwell.
I'm still used to spelling myself.
With the corrections.
Okay, so are there any other corrections, comments? So we can move forward to approve the minutes. Corrections have been taken. So moved. You, full second. Oh, she did already.
already seconded.
Sorry. Did we get to that? Okay, thank you. So we're now going to move to oral communication from the public. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the commission on any matter not on the agenda.
Pardon me, Chair. I'm sorry.
Yes.
We do need to vote on the minutes approval.
Oh,
before we
yeah,
move on.
that's
My
right. I
apologies.
thought- Okay,
So you had a motion and a second, and then we'll just call for
call for,
all
okay,
those in favor.
all right, step back.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll need to take a vote on the minutes.
Yes.
Yes.
So
All votes on the minutes.
We're taking a vote on.
Taking a vote on the minutes, commissioners.
all those in favor.
All those in favor?
Motion passes.
Thank you.
And thank you, Chair.
Mhm. All right, so moving along on oral communication from the public, this portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wishing to address the commission on any matter not on the agenda. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to make their comments. State law prohibits the commission from discussing or acting on non-agenda items. We have someone's, yeah, well,
Okay.
Hold on one moment, please. Chair, please continue.
yes. For those attending the meeting via Zoom, please use the raise your hand function or press *9 on your phone to make a comment. The commission will receive in-person comments first. We have one person in person, so please go ahead.
Hi, my name is Paying. My pronouns are she, her. I sent a joint letter with Bruce England regarding our ask of HRC to help us in amplifying our call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire, but really to address the humanitarian crisis with City Council. We felt like this was the best body to come to after months of working with community members and going to City Council meetings at the start of this year, calling for ceasefire in whatever means, proclamation, resolution, official city statement. And you might have seen, at least via our letter, that we did get a statement earlier in February. We come to this body because we would love to amplify any policy action locally here that we can help support and respond to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. As we all know here, be it that you had conversations with community leaders, your home, you heard our city council meetings, many diverse community members have come together on this issue to really stop what's going on, stop bombing, stop the siege on Gaza. We're months into destruction, fatality, starvation, where it's not even just the 30,000 of Palestinians who have died. There's also no infrastructure. When we think about things here, like healthcare, education, schools, transportation, sewage, public health, there isn't any of that in Gaza. And so we are coming here to your body to get some support and help in putting some response to City Council. Could it be that HRC helps sponsor a resolution, send a letter to the council, or really strongly support a new or revised city statement that calls for some of these immediate things, like an immediate permanent ceasefire, like responding to the humanitarian crisis now? We're in March. If there's anything that we can do, this would be the time now. We totally understand from talking with community members, there are short-term things at play, there are long-term things at play. We recognize there's a lot of pain around anti-hate, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia. There's a lot of pain around systems of oppression. What we as community members, many of us, there are Jewish Palestinian moms, there are young student activists, there are tech workers, there are folks from the library and bookstore. We're really all focused on what we can do now to say this is not business as usual. All of us can walk our daily lives, grocery store, going to work, like chatting at the farmer's market. We're really trying to bring some
3 minutes.
amplification. So anything that this body can do to address with City Council now, we would really love that support.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you very much.
We have 3 online.
Okay. So,
First is Tim McKenzie.
okay. Ms. Good. Okay, Tim McKenzie can speak now. You have 3 minutes.
Hi, all. I'm Tim, he, him pronouns. I'm a resident of the Montaloma neighborhood for quite some time at this point, several years. I also want to add my voice to a call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza with a stronger statement from the city. There's just the other day, the Israeli army shot at people approaching an aid convoy, and many scores of people died. And it's our tax dollars and money and weapons from our government that is being sent there. So we, the people, are petitioning our representatives at various levels. Would love to have a statement calling for an immediate permanent ceasefire in Gaza that recognizes some of the ongoing atrocities that have been documented by many people, many nations, and there's been calls brought forward for ceasefire at the UN that the US keeps vetoing. And that's not what I and many people I know, that's not what we would like to see happen. So I'd like to add my voice to the call for the city to make a statement for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, with some recognition of the ongoing horrors that are not business as usual. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Next, we have Bruce England.
Thank you. Bruce England, Wisman Station Drive. Pretty much echoing what's already been said, and as co-signer of the letter that Pei Ying cited. Several things. The ask that we're bringing to you is about the permanent ceasefire, or even a ceasefire in any form. We're after the permanent ceasefire to allow humanitarian aid and reconstruction of Gaza in that area. That's what we're after. The advisory body handbook does allow you to make requests to city council to make changes. We don't want to wait until you revise your work plan for the next fiscal year to make this happen, because the situation is just simply too pressing. There are outrages every single day, and they happen so quickly that we don't forget them, but we can't keep addressing each one. The one that Tim talked about with the food distribution trucks. We also have the killing of Hind Rahab and her family, which is just totally heartbreaking. If you hear the recordings, I don't know, anybody can hear the recordings of what happened and not just have a real emotional response to that. So, and then also, I wanted to mention that there are a lot of independent sources of information. So, we are outraged as members of the community, but you can find all kinds of independent and respected news sources to see, to learn about what's going on if you're not fully aware, if you want to learn more. So the UN Office of Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Palestinian Ministry of Health, Palestinian Red Crescent Society, the Israeli Army itself, Israeli Social Security Agency, World Health Organization, Government Media Office in Gaza, Committee, and on the journalist front, because they're being killed, Committee to Protect Journalists, and the International Federation of Journalists, also Doctors Without Borders and the Red Cross. So a whole variety of sources, respected sources that you can look at. I ask in closing that you really press this with City Council and see what can be done to expand on the statement they've already published, which is a great start, but it just can't be the end run. There needs to be more to be done. You're the body to address this, and I hope you'll seriously consider it, and that you will bring this up later in your comments, your HRC comments at the end, to agendize it and make it formalized. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Marguerite.
Go ahead, Marguerite.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Marguerite. I live over by the Target on Ortega, and I've been a really proud Mountain View resident for the last couple of years. I find Mountain View to be a really pleasant place to live, really peaceful. And in the last few months, as I've learned about the extreme military invasion of Gaza by the IDF, I think of my mother, who spent months in a refugee camp before arriving in the United States in 1980. I think of how the IDF has been bombing families in refugee camps, not allowing aid in, starving children, and killing doctors. What is happening in Gaza is personal to me because I think about how people like my mom end up in refugee camps. It is by the most extreme circumstances of life and death that people seek refuge with strangers, hoping that some divine combination of mercy and luck will keep them safe. Cut off from the rest of the world, part of their hope is placed in us, people who will recognize the injustice and summon the moral courage to call for an end to it. It's time that we add our city's call our city's voice to the call against war and for peace. I'm calling for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza, and I hope that you will call on City Council to do the same.
Thank you.
Next, we have Eva Tang.
Go ahead, Eva.
Good evening, committee. My name is Eva Tang. I'm a resident of Old Mountain View. I'm here to echo the sentiments of my fellow residents who are calling on you to recommend that the city amend their statement and call for an immediate and permanent ceasefire in Gaza. I understand that people may think that this isn't local, but as Mountain View, one of the leaders of Silicon Valley, of AI technology, of computing in general, we have companies that are based in Mountain View who profit off of the war in Gaza. Since the city has released its statement, the situation has become more dire. Famine has hit the Gaza Strip, and the paltry amounts that other countries are able to airdrop. First of all, what we could deliver by truck is not enough to supply the people of northern Gaza, but airdropping is an even more expensive, risky, and wasteful way to provide humanitarian aid to people. So it's not even very effective. So we need an immediate and permanent ceasefire now so that people can live. And Mountain View needs to be a part of calling for that because we profit from it. So that's my comment. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Do we have any other? That's it. So the portion for public comments is closed. So we're going to move on now to item 5, unfinished business.
Is there no, there might be one more.
There are no more public comments.
Um,
Can we just reiterate that we can't act on anything?
Yeah, I said that in the beginning. Going to say that again?
No, you can continue, Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I said on it then. All right, so we're going to move on to item 5, which is unfinished business. And so item 5.1, the Gender Civility Roundtable Ad Hoc Committee will now present an oral update, and no action will be taken on this item. And which commissioners will be presenting on this?
Commissioner, oh, I thought Commissioner Webb had agreed to.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm sorry.
Well, we've been going back and forth. I missed the last meeting, previous meeting, and Mr. Chair, Vice Chair Rose missed the last one. But as far as an update, we're still working towards getting our speakers and securing them. But we're still moving forward. The date is still set as the same date. And there's nothing else to speak about it. Going forward,
Our date is April 18th.
well, it hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. And what did change was that we decided that the best thing would be to have a more robust number of participants who had their own stories. And they would be participating in the various tables. And then from that, we would choose a panel of 3 or possibly more that represent very varied, diverse life experiences.
Sure.
And the panel would share that with everybody, and then we would go back to the tables necessary. Did I get that right? Okay,
Well, we're still working on the formatting and.
but I mean,
it's
that's as
still-
far as we got.
Yeah, we're still working on the formatting, securing the speakers. Depending who the speakers are, that's how we're gonna determine who is our main speakers, and then we'll have our alternates
Right.
set up. And that's it.
I will add, I'll
Not sure of the name, but I do have a confirmed speaker from the Office of County Office of LGBTQ Affairs. And working on more.
Do any commissioner have any questions? No? All right, we'll now open the floor to public comment. If anyone would like to. Okay, seeing that there's none, we're going to move on to item 5.2, Storytelling Project Ad Hoc Committee. The Storytelling Project Ad Hoc Committee will present an oral update. No action will be taken on this item. Who will be giving the presentation on this?
Yeah, for our last meeting, it was just Laurel and I, and the basic update is that the storytelling project is in a holding pattern, waiting for, an update from city staff. Laurel has been helping us get a draft communications plan from city staff, as well as information about potential venues, for the in-person hopeful display of the storytelling project and work on the potential online presence. So the next action item is to receive an update from city staff and work on it, and then hopefully present draft materials to our fellow commissioners to be shared with your networks and provide feedback on.
Thank you.
Quick addition to that, I think the online and in-person component wasn't really fleshed out the last time we all met in January. So there's this revived hope for having a portion of it physically on display somewhere, somehow.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of like an exciting little tidbit you just wove in there. So, thank you.
Do any commissioners have any questions? No? Okay, well, I'll open the floor for public comment if there are any. All right, seeing that there's none, we're going to move on to item number 6, new business. Did you have a comment?
I honestly don't know how this works, but I would be very happy if we would agendize the Gaza
Commissioner McDonald,
issue.
that
for a
wouldn't be
future-
under the new business item, so if you could wait for the next item, please.
Yeah. So we're now on item number 6, which is new
Yeah.
business, and there's none. As we know, there's no new business. So we can now move on to item number 7. And again, to be reminded that no discussion or action will be taken on any questions raised by the commission at this time. And state law prohibits the commission from discussing or acting on substantive non-agenda items.
I don't think my concern was heard completely. I'm not saying that we should put it on this agenda. What I'm saying is I would be happy if we could agendize the Gaza issue for a future meeting. I know the wheels of government grind exceedingly slow. I would hope that this issue would not be in existence anymore, but I'm not that optimistic.
Do any other commissioners have any comments? Yes.
I had a question for staff. Bruce England, when he spoke, says that according to the handbook, we can't, that advisory bodies or specifically HRC can make. And I didn't know if he said recommendations or communicate to council. So I was curious if there was any clarification on the channel back from us to council.
Understood. So per council policy with regards to work plans and advisory bodies, the advisory body may only use staff time and resources to work on items that are on the work plan or that have been referred by council. I'm trying to check the specifics of that particular issue at the moment and can circle back during this comment period. when I provide comments.
Okay. Any other comments from commissioners?
Regarding agendizing the topic, I would like. Trying to think here. I support the idea of agendizing it for a future meeting. If it's something that we can do with, I'm not super familiar with, the rules on adding new topics, but, I think that it at least merits discussion, if nothing else, than because the average public attendance at our meeting is 0, and today we had 5 people who, participated and lent us their voices on this topic, which I feel, we have a duty to at least look into what we can do. I don't know, I don't recommend any particular course of action, and frankly, I don't even know what our options are. But I would support learning more from staff on what, if any, options we have for responding to this.
Chair, if I may, per the policy, during the course of the year following work plan approval, if a topic is raised that's within the advisory body's purview but is not in the approved work plan and receives majority support from the advisory body members and is determined by the city manager in consultation with staff that preparation for such review would have a minimal resources impact, then after consultation, the mayor and vice mayor can jointly authorize the work item for the advisory body. That's per council policy E23, the work item referral process for council advisory bodies and council member committees. I will remind the commission that the council did take up this topic at a recent meeting and opted to release the statement rather than refer the item to the HRC.
Right. I think the statement can be, there's a link to the statement,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you can revisit that link and review the statement. Any other comments?
I don't know whether everybody actually saw the letter that was sent out by the mayor and council,
Mhm.
but, and I don't know whether it would be really useful for us to at least make a written comment back to city council in support of the letter.
The commission is not able to discuss or take action as a body on any items that are not on the agenda, unfortunately.
Okay. But it's okay if we, as individuals, contact the mayor and city council supporting their letter.
As individual members of the community,
Yeah.
you may take whatever actions
Right.
you please to participate in official capacity where include or require the commission's consensus.
Any more questions or comments?
Comment.
Comment.
I want to make sure that the people that called in, we want to acknowledge that we heard you,
Right.
and this is on our minds as well. If we're not able to take actions as a body, we're looking into that. But it is on our minds as well. But thank you for calling in and bringing it to the forefront to this committee.
Yeah.
That's it.
Absolutely.
Thank you. What? Go ahead.
I just wanted to share the thanks to all who attended and gave comment tonight. We always appreciate hearing that. And I did want to point out, I heard that there could be potential short-term actions, which we have to obviously discuss what we're capable of doing, but also longer-term actions or longer-term work. So thank you for bringing that to light as we think about our work plan soon.
Mhm.
The year has rolled around very quickly, so thank you for educating us tonight and sharing your passion.
Yeah, and we thank the in-person here to represent the voices as well, for taking the time to be here in person. So I appreciate your presence as well. Thank you. So any more comments from the commission, from commissioners? No? Okay, so any staff comments or questions from
I
staff?
do have two reminders for the commission. First is that on March 23rd will be the Multicultural Festival. held here at the Civic Center Plaza from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a celebration of the community's cultural diversity that will include resource tables, crafts, and lots of performances. An email went out to all of you asking if you wanted to participate in hosting or emceeing the event. If you have not responded to that email, please get in contact with me if you would like to participate, because we're finalizing that in this next week. And then my second comment / announcement is for the third work plan project, Resilient Mountain View. The timeline, as we had discussed offline, has shifted due to the timeline of the project at the staff level, but that committee will be able to meet this fiscal year with staff as they start the process of working on the decarbonization resiliency plan rather. Those are my two.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Is there any question? Yes.
Yes.
When will we have our schedule if we've signed up for Multicultural Fest?
Once staff has the full list of MC's participants and is able to provide it.
To clarify regarding multicultural, do you still need volunteers, or is it more that, you know, if you want to, now's your chance?
Everyone is welcome to. The amount of work will be divided based on the number of volunteers. So either is fine. Thank you.
Any other questions to the staff? Is that all from staff? Any more comments from staff? Is that
Oh,
it?
yes, thank you.
Oh, that's okay.
I've
Oh,
included
sure.
my comments. Apologies.
Okay.
Chair.
All right, so we're going to adjourn, it's 7:05. And the meeting is adjourned. The next regular meeting of the Human Relations Commission is scheduled for April 4th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the Plaza Conference Room here at the City Hall and virtually on Zoom as well. Thank you everyone for attending. Thank you for our guests as well and those who were virtual. Thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening. Woo-hoo.